Prime Minister Chasney reports to Parliament on the fuel excise tax. Bellevue Combined School visits the official residence, celebrating a Cuban national hero, and St. Lucia joins discussions on multi-hazard early warning system. Join us as we take a look at an eventful week in the Prime Minister's weekly diary. The Parliament of St. Lucia convened on Tuesday with Prime Minister and Minister for Finance Honorable Alan Chasney making a statement on the excise tax on fuel. The Prime Minister explained that due to the continuation of the government's policy of maintaining a domestic price cap to keep retail prices stable amidst rising international crude oil prices, the excise tax revenue collection on gasoline and diesel has been notably below approved budgeted levels.
A policy decision taken to keep retail prices, gasoline and diesel unchanged at $13.95 to allow the government to recoup some of the revenue shortfall thus far in this fiscal year of 2018 and 2019. So what that means is that when the price of fuel dropped below the level that would have justified a $13.95 rate, government maintained the $13.95 rate in order to be able to recoup some of the $9 million shortfall this year and $9 million shortfall from the previous year. But we were really trying to just recoup some of the money from then. In addition to that, all expectations have been that the price of fuel is going to go right back up. We see what is taking place in Venezuela, we see what's taking place in the Middle East, and all the pundits indicate they expect that the price is going to go back up. As a result, the excise tax rate on gasoline increased above the $4 to an average of $4.63. So it means that government is actually making $4.63 instead of the legislated $4 amount.
The Prime Minister noted that this report should have been a regular feature of the House, especially during the 2015 period.
And I will be providing a report, hopefully very soon, but I want to make sure that it's a report based on facts. And that the same way that we can provide this report, which I'll make a document of the House, and the same kind of graphs and numbers that we're able to achieve in this report, we're hoping to be able to come to the House and be able to provide a similar report during the 2015 period.
During this week's Parliament session, which continued on Wednesday, the Prime Minister also submitted amendments to the International Business Companies Bill, partly to ensure compliance with the OECD and EU criteria for tax compliance. On Wednesday afternoon, Prime Minister and Education Minister Honorable Dr. Gail T.C. Rigobert took time out to host the teachers, students and parents from the Bellevue Combined School at the official residence of the Prime Minister. The two leaders were treated to a wonderful cultural display by the students. It was a bittersweet ceremony on Wednesday evening as Prime Minister Chasney joined the Cuban embassy for the anniversary of the birth of José Martí, a Cuban national hero. The Prime Minister took the opportunity during his remarks to extend condolences to the people of Cuba following a tornado there in which 3 lives were lost and nearly 200 were injured. He called for a moment of silence.
Maybe if I can ask us all to bow our heads in one moment's silence for the people who lost their lives in the recent tornado in Cuba.
As the Caribbean prepares for the unexpected as it relates to disaster, Prime Minister Chasney joined a panel on multi-hazard early warning systems.
I am so grateful for the quality and level of talent that we have in the Caribbean. And that certainly from an intellectual perspective, from a human capacity perspective, all of the necessary skills to be able to confront this incredible threat that we have in our region is here. So what is missing is really the resources in order to be able to give effect to what we want to do. And I'm absolutely convinced of that. You know, we've become very experienced in dealing with these issues. This is not a new issue for us. maybe the strength and the frequency has increased, but certainly what we need to do is there. In terms of advanced warning systems, I want to take that into two levels. So it is maybe the days and the hours leading up to the event that we can give maybe more accurate information, although I'm not so sure, given the minds of these storms, that we can actually do that to an exact hour. But the fact is we need to be able to perfect that. So again, congratulations to all of you. You're doing an amazing job. You have our full support. And I can say to you that this is a very high agenda item. It is complicated, it's multifaceted, and dealing with physical resources to equip you, and that we live in a region without borders. And secondly, from a government perspective, how do we now put resilience into our financing plans, and do we make that now viable, and we can be doing that on a regular basis and create the best practices that we have around the world.
Led by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SEDEMA, with support from the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, the Multi-Hazard Early Warning System Checklist is a practical tool consisting of major components and actions which national governments, community organizations, and partners within and across all sectors can refer to when developing or evaluating early warning systems. Until next week, that was your snapshot into the Prime Minister's Weekly Diary.